1, 2, 3, and 4.
Welcome back to another episode of Beer Guts Sports Network.
V-I-I-I-I.
No, V-I-I-I. That's 8.
All right, that one. Yeah, we're gonna roll with that.
-1. Okay.
Anyway, the Final Four is set. We got Gonzaga, Baylor, UCLA, and Houston. First game we're going to talk about is Gonzaga USC. Gonzaga, of course, rolled. Shocking. USC was hot, though. They were playing pretty well, especially against Oregon and whoever else the fuck they played.
Oh, yeah. Well, Oregon just did not look like they were against Iowa.
Oh, God, no.
I think they shot like less than 20% from the field.
They got up early a little bit, right, though, on USC, and then USC.
Yeah,
just
USC had a
found their
bunch of
way.
turnovers and shit. And, I mean, Gonzaga's so good.
Oh, yeah.
But looks like the leading scorer was Actually, the leading scorer was Drew Timme. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
He's the handlebar guy, right?
Yeah, he does this now.
Can I say that I
Hate it? Because I hate it.
I initially I was on board, but then after watching the USC game, I got turned off on the handlebar swag.
Yeah.
Too much celebrating for me, and now I feel like I'm like the old guy. I'm really owning up to my gray hair here, but I'm like it's just too much.
Back in my day, we had bowl cuts.
When you win, though,
I know I can't argue
if you're winning with it.
I can't argue with
20.
the results, but it's like I got turned off a little bit, but I understand where he's coming from. If I was that good, I'd be doing the same shit. So
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. That was, I think, almost it's like 25th game in a row of winning by double digits.
yeah, it's
And they haven't lost
30.
in over 400 days.
it's stupid. It's
Before COVID.
Stupid.
So I would say if I've been doing that and it works,
Yeah.
all right, I'll keep going.
It wasn't just that. He was doing like the arm thing. You know, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but
what grade is he in?
I don't
He
fucking
is a
11th grader.
I think
I don't-
he's
I don't know why I was.
he's a sophomore. Jesus.
Oh, dang.
He's gonna be pretty
thought
good.
He
I
is,
saw some
I thought he was a
highlights
senior.
of him in high school the other day, and I was.
I would also like to pile onto him again real quick. The handlebar swag is a little bit of a cop-out because it's not like a
That's what he does.
mullet-ish thing or like a crazier hairdo where it's like you got to be committed to it the whole way you grow it out. You can grow the beard and then just shave it into the handlebar when it comes tournament time. And it's like easy in, easy out. It's a pussy-ass way to swag. I'm not on board.
I can get behind.
I'm not on
I like
board.
that.
Well, we'll discuss somebody else's hair later on, and we'll just wait for that because
I
I'm
have normal amount of hair.
I'm too excited for that part. But and then Corey Kispert, he had 18 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, and then my boy Jalen Suggs, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Could have had this. I said that backwards. 8 assists. Sorry, he could have had the second triple double in Gonzaga history. The last guy was the Ayayi guy.
In
Ayayi.
2003.
Like during tournament time?
Ayayi, no, ever. This is their.
What?
It would have been their second triple double of all time. The Ayayi guy had it earlier this year.
That's
Because
insane.
They're a team because they don't have one guy.
Well, you
that
think there'd
shines.
be
They always play together.
Fucking assists then, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Westbrook has just ruined the concept of how difficult a triple double is to actually achieve.
Dude, he
You know
only
what I mean?
gets like 21 assists a game.
Dude, that was fucking
With
nuts.
31 points, 21 assists.
That stat line. Not to distract us, but that stat line was crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then, so they advanced to the Final Four for the second time. First time since 2017. They've never won a national championship, which surprises me.
Huh.
They actually were not very good till the last couple decades.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Closest they got was losing to North Carolina by 6 in 2017. And then I thought it'd be fun to compare some of the players. I cheated on all of them except
Perfect.
one of them.
That's what we do here.
Jalen Suggs, I watch him. He runs. His shot looks like Lonzo Ball now. He does everything like Lonzo Ball, except that bullshit that he always does. Like supporting his back.
So you don't like Lonzo?
No, I like Lonzo, but he's a better version of
Like
Lonzo.
the old dad rest
I love
pose.
Lonzo.
Yeah.
And then Corey Kispert apparently reminds people of Joe Harris from the Nets. He's they look the same. And then Drew Timme is a young Kevin McHale, apparently.
It's what the people are saying.
All from the thick skull of me, not me Googling it at all. But
No.
And then the USC actually had a pretty rounded team effort. The Mobley brothers, one had 19, one had 17. And, well, everybody else is irrelevant on that team because the Mobley guys are studs. But, yeah, other than that, Gonzaga's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
More breaking news at 11.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe we'll just cover these games and then do our predictions.
Sounds good to me.
Probably. So the next game was Baylor. Well, actually, nope. Sorry, UCLA, Michigan. Johnny Juzang, who's really good, had 28 points, and then my boy Tiger Campbell had 11 points. So,
Yes, sir.
Besides these two players, 3 players had 4 points and nobody else scored.
How many points did the Michigan point guard have? Because it was essentially the battle of the best hairdos at the position in the tournament. Let's see here.
That's just insane. The final score was 51-49 for the Final Four bid.
Smith, rebounds, points. Oh, 3 points. Get fucked on, Mike Smith. Mm-hmm. Lost the hair battle. That was a crazy game to watch, just mostly due to the lack of scoring. Like, I don't know how UCLA knocks off a number 1 seed with 2 separate 6-minute scoring droughts, right? And Michigan, I think, failed to score like the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
To fail to break 50. That's I was watching this and I was like, how much longer can this keep going on?
Yeah.
Where the buckets don't fall. Mm-hmm. But
if only Colgate could have done that. They had the same 2 droughts.
I don't think Colgate plays quite as solid of team defense as the Bruins, and just the way they were able to, I think, double every time the ball got down low because they were outsized. Yeah, and Dickinson or whatever his name should have imposed his will a little bit more in that game, I think. But
it's in the tournament, it's better to be lucky than good. And
yes, sir.
UCLA's been lucky on a field.
They've been killing it with the luck.
And I mean, I know they're an 11 seed and you want to feel good for them. It's a comeback story, but they advanced to the Final Four for the 18th time. They're second only behind North Carolina for most Final Four appearances. This is the first time, though, they've been in the Final Four since 2008, and they're trying to win their 12th national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wooden and them back in the day.
Yeah, what a Cinderella story.
So they have the most national championships of all time. They're obviously historically probably the best team of all time.
Right. Well, I mean, up next they're going to go against the buzzsaw that is the Zags, right? So it's unlikely that the run continues, especially with how fortunate they've been in the current run because of what it was. Even their play-in game went to overtime, didn't it, against Michigan State?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was overtime because Michigan State was kicking the dog shit out of them, and then and then they came back and won. I remember watching that. Yeah.
So 2 overtime games. This one just could have easily been an overtime game, or they could have lost on either of the last few second threes. But
did you guys see the ref collapse?
What happened?
I don't.
With that?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
They tried to explain. I mean, they said he was doing better, but I don't know.
He didn't even go to the hospital. I thought they said they just took him home.
Yeah.
Don't go to the hospital. Be a
So,
man.
question: do you think that they don't give refs health insurance? Is the NCAA fucking our refs? Not only do they not pay our players, they don't provide health insurance to our refs. It's a travesty. Anyways, rant over.
It's kind of about the not paying players. Did you see douchebag Bohannon?
I'm
not coming back unless they pay me. And they're like, then fucking leave.
Well, yeah, you're right.
You had 0 points in your game against Oregon. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But so my player comparisons, Johnny Juzang is like Trevor Ariza.
Okay.
And Tiger Campbell can be compared to Arnold off Hey Arnold. He's got a football head. Did you guys see when they handed out, and I texted you guys, they handed out the hats, and he's sitting there like, I see him adjusted all the way, and it's still just like, it was hilarious. That's got to be 3 foot wide.
Right. He has to custom order any hats.
I think it's like a way of passage for one UCLA player to have some crazy ass hair. Every single year they have crazy ass hair.
And I think it's funny. He's from Iowa. Like, if I looked at that hair, I mean, I know he lived most of his life in Indiana, but it's like, what?
Even Indiana.
I like that.
Well, yeah, it's the width of a combine. He just walks down.
That's what I'm talking about with the handlebar to Campbell's hair. Campbell's hair took commitment.
Oh yeah,
that he's rode out for probably a couple of years, a year or two.
Longer than that. He had it in high school for sure. Because I was watching some highlights from high school.
That's genuine swag.
Oh,
None
he's
of this.
like the weekend.
Of
college basketball. Back in the day with the
he's like
whatever
the
hell that was.
The little mini weekend, just running around, dropping double-digit points.
Yeah, he's Sunday fun day.
Yeah,
not the whole weekend.
Oh yeah.
But then the next game, do you guys want to do Baylor first or?
Yeah, we'll talk about the disappointing Baylor.
So Baylor's win against Arkansas. Massey Teague had 22 points, 5 rebounds. Jared Butler, I think he won Big 12 Player of the Year. 14 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and Davion Mitchell, 6 assists, 1 rebound. And I swear that Davion Mitchell's trying to be Donovan Mitchell because he has number 45, Mitchell. I guess that's the only comparison. But
hey, it's two.
But ironically, I don't
points.
compare him to that. But anyway, they advanced to the Final Four for the 3rd time, first time since 1950. They've never won a national championship, which I'm going to discuss that later. And the closest they got was in 1948, losing by 16 to Kentucky. What do you guys have to say about that game?
It was a game.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
It didn't look too pretty, honestly. For even for scoring 30 points more both teams than the Michigan UCLA game. That Michigan game was a lot better to watch than Arkansas Baylor, I thought.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I wasn't really that interested in that matchup, so I didn't pay the closest of attention. I'm not going to lie to you. I was pretty much only emotionally invested in the UCLA story, and so that's where most of my contributions are going to be.
I'm just upset I called one of those teams short to the Sweet 16 on our first one.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that Michigan State, UCLA is going to the Sweet 16.
I adopted that take from you, and I ran with it. I ran like the fucking wind.
Hey, 1 out of 100, I win.
Sorry.
And then just the quick comparisons. Jared Butler is apparently like George Hill, which, I high-fived him once. There's a picture of it.
The connection.
And Davion Mitchell's apparently like Patrick Beverly.
Ooh, interesting.
And then there is one, though. Do you know Mark Vidal? He plays for Baylor also. He is literally Draymond Green to a T. His stat line was, let's see, he had 4 points. Ooh. Well,
who's
okay, the rest of his is not impressive. Normally he's like Draymond Green, though.
Yeah.
Is that long-haired mullet guy?
No, that is, what is his name? It's Mayer.
Who do you compare him to?
John Mayer?
Douche. He played against Iowa State. He's always been an asshole. I hate him. Matthew Mayer, who's ugly in the NBA? That one guy that's really tall.
None of them, because they're all rich.
One guy who's really tall in the NBA.
He used to play for the Sixers. Boban Bogdanovic.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. But have you seen his girlfriend? She's like 5'2", and he's like 7'40". They're a cute couple.
Yeah, she likes to be spun around a little bit.
Climb the ladder.
Yes, sir.
PG-13 for parents keeping children away.
And then the final game, Houston versus Oregon State. Literally, besides the last 5 minutes, I watched Netflix the whole time. I didn't really care about this game.
Pretty much the same.
That's actually the game I watched the most, honestly. And Oregon State looked like a high school team in the first
oh, yeah, because they were
half and a quarter.
Oh, shit. I was playing poker. That's what it was. I was playing poker in this game. It was like I was focusing on poker because they were down, like 15 or something in the first half. And then I look up and I'm like, oh, shit. They tied it with 8 minutes left or something like that.
So Houston almost had more offensive rebounds than they did defensive rebounds. That's how bad Oregon State played. Every time Houston missed, they had a second chance opportunity. There was
they were out-rebounded on offense 7-19.
Yep.
That's something that I think that Houston team does in general really well, though, right? Is crash the offensive boards. I'm trying to remember back to the cheat sheet from when we first started to try to do our takes. I think that was in the cheat sheet. Like they were one of the best at crashing the offensive boards.
Yeah.
But I think, but when you're not able to get those, it opens you up to the counter attack, right? Fast break. So
and honestly, Houston didn't even look that good. It was their offensive rebounds, and they had twice as many threes as Oregon State.
Yeah,
they took twice as many, and they obviously made more.
They do a Fred Hoiberg offense. It looks just like Iowa State of the old. They spread the floor, and then one guy in the middle, then every shot just fucking run to the hoop.
Well, I was talking on
when it works, it works.
First one of March Madness. It's all about the 3 game in this tournament, honestly, because every single team that I've set or looked
unless you're fucking UCLA and Michigan for some reason, like they were.
Oh yeah,
there was a remarkable lack of 3-pointers.
Not even just the tournament. That's basketball.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Modern basketball.
Yeah. But Marcus Sasser had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Quentin Grimes had 18 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and Dejan Giroux, 10 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. They advanced to the Final Four for the 5th time. They've won no national championships, and they lost back-to-back championship games.
Brutal.
I thought I typed that differently, but this is their first Final Four since 1984.
Buffalo Bills light.
Right?
It was back in the day, like with Clyde the Glide Drexler, and their team was fucking stacked.
What a disappointment.
The comparisons were impossible to find, but Quentin Grimes apparently is like Josh Hart. Woo. And Dejan Giroux and Marcus Sasser apparently can compare to no one, because I didn't find shit about them.
unique specimens.
But that Houston team and Baylor game, I think it's going to be a shootout.
It'd be fun to watch.
Who do you take in it then?
It's hard to not. I like Houston. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like the Big. I don't even care about the Big 12 advancing. I hate Baylor. So honestly, I'm not against Houston. I like Houston's coach too. He's cool.
I don't have any sort of affection or feelings towards either of these teams. Not really like positive or negative. So it's my care level is probably at not an all-time low for a Final Four, but it's not a high. I guess I would just take Baylor, but it's just kind of like yeah.
I want anybody that's not a Power 5 if there's not my team.
Yeah,
I want them to win, so I'm going for Houston.
You continue.
I had them getting beat in the first round at Cleveland State. I picked 115 seed, and it happened to be wrong. I knew one of them was going to win, just the wrong one.
Well, and I think, after all those upsets at the beginning, say Houston or Michigan were to have won, it would have been a basic ass Final Four, 3 1 seeds and 1 2 seed. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like for a while, I was like, shit, there's gonna be a 15 seed, an 11 seed, something crazy, and of course the 11 seed's UCLA. So
it's not even that crazy of a different one.
The other 12 seed was Oregon State, so that's not too crazy.
Yeah,
well, for basketball.
For basketball.
They did that 2 years in a row in baseball. They won. Well, they went to the CWS.
It's a little bit different of a sport, but yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But honestly, Michigan should have won that game, and it would have been your basic, straightforward Final Four, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, kind of before we do our predictions or whatever else, I want to talk about this because I'm the only one that remembers this, apparently, because I am apparently in a different universe, because there is alternate universes apparently. That's why deja vu happens.
Are we going into conspiracy corner?
Well, it's not really, but it's more my conspiracy. So I think I'm having the Mandela effect, because I swear to God, back in the early 2010s, like 2012 time, the Baylor men's team won a national championship game, and obviously that's not true. But I specifically remember Scott Drew running around hugging his players, and the announcers saying, Baylor's your national champions. And the more I thought about it, the Baylor women's team, of course, won the national championship in 2012, the year that Brittany Griner was there.
RG3, you mean?
Yes. So I think maybe I saw Brittany Griner running around, and thought it was a male basketball player and just assumed they won the national championship. But they haven't even been in the Final Four since 1948, which I specifically remember them in the Final Four. Or 48.
Are you a time traveler then?
I don't know.
wow.
Either
What's
I
going on over
predicted
there?
Baylor's going to win the national championship, or in a different universe,
They've already done
Baylor
it.
already did it. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I literally, when they said this is the first time they're in the Final Four since 1948, I was like, bullshit. I was like, they just won a national championship 9 years ago. And then, as I said that, they have not won a national championship. I was like, well, fuck me. I don't know.
Is there 3 teams that haven't won a national title yet that's in the Final Four? Just UCLA? I like that. I mean, get a new one.
Yeah,
in there.
actually. And it's crazy. I mean, Baylor, Gonzaga, and even Houston back in the day, because their team was stacked back in the day. I honestly, I want to look up that team.
Look it up.
But I'm.
So that means UCLA will win then.
Yeah. I don't think so.
see. I think, other than the first round, this is the easiest game Gonzaga has.
Dude, they've honestly had a cakewalk.
Well,
Oklahoma was
in
the
there.
hardest.
I mean,
You're the number one team
Right,
in the
right.
nation. That's,
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
as they've earned, like
Yeah.
they haven't earned. It's not like they haven't earned the cakewalk, but they haven't been really tested, and I would argue that UCLA is probably just going to continue the theme, right? Like they're not a premier.
I think Oklahoma
team.
tested them, honestly. I mean, they pulled away in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma was beating them almost the entire first half.
Creighton, Creighton played better than I thought. It was they kind of colgated themselves, not to the same degree, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
they were in it, but then they weren't hitting the shots they needed to stay in it. And then once you get down 10 to the Zags, you might as well just turn it over, right? Or shut her down and go home.
I don't want that to be a thing. Saying they colgated it.
Sorry.
Next year they're coming back.
you guys colgated the whole.
They're
fucking
coming
thing.
back.
They didn't truly Colgate it. Creighton was never up. So Colgating it's a different level,
Yeah,
but
they were up by 14.
Yeah.
I don't want to get about it.
it's going to be a thing.
So that Houston team had Clyde the Glide Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Larry Michu. He averaged 13 points, and then Michael Young.
Oh, Lair.
But Clyde and Hakeem Olajuwon, who are both NBA Hall of Famers, were not even their best player on their team.
That's insane.
But
That's insane.
I'm surprised they lost that. But
Sounds like Alabama football. But
so
Right.
upcoming
Oh,
games.
speaking of which, I just want a quick plug. Bama finally stopped fucking me, and it fuck Bama. we kind of skipped over that game, but go Campbell, go Mini Weekend, go Jacquez, however you say your name. I don't know why I looked at the whiteboard, but
It's Tiger.
Tiger. With
no,
an A.
their scorer, the guy that shot them into the Michigan game,
Johnny Juzang.
Juzang. I don't know. Sorry for saying Jacquez. That's arguably racist.
Yuck.
That was yeah.
Hey,
I just want to say thank you for finally giving me the fuck Bama sliver of hope that I needed. So
Nate Oates is a stud coach though for them.
yeah, but they just can't be that good at two sports. I can't stand for it. I will not stand for it. I'm hopping on the UCLA bandwagon.
It's like Baylor. I mean,
Yeah.
the Baylor women lost, but Baylor men are good.
It's like Nebraska football and Nebraska volleyball, man. I'm just
Which,
kidding.
if we want to go back to that, you watched that ending of the UConn? Was that Baylor? UConn-Baylor game? The women's?
I didn't watch
I did
it.
not watch that.
No, it was all over. It was all over ESPN because that was a shitty ending.
Yeah, and I turned the channel.
I was watching Netflix probably.
Uh,
But so yeah, our upcoming games are Houston, Baylor, of course, and then UCLA, Gonzaga. I guess did we did the picks for the Baylor Houston one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of spacing out.
mhm.
So what are your picks for UCLA, Gonzaga?
Mm.
I'm going to say that's an easy pick.
Well,
yeah, it is an easy pick.
I was waiting for you to go UCLA.
And unless there's three.
I want them to, but I can't see a world where they're gonna beat Gonzaga in the same alternate universe that Baylor won in 2012.
Or
It's
it wasn't even 2012; it was 2021. I had them back.
yeah. The
Fuck,
dyslexia.
I'm
Oh,
dyslexic in that universe,
He's
too.
a goddamn prophet. He's a prophet.
My God, if that does happen, that's freaking weird. But
That would be weird.
You heard it here.
you heard it here first.
Colgate will be in the Final Four next year.
Wow. Colgate probably won't even be in the tournament next year. Tried it.
The crest.
Toothpaste puns. Welcome back to another episode of Toothpaste puns. Stupid as fuck.
Fuck yeah. All right. So
Okay, and then, well, we'll wait for the national championship predictions.
I got
I'm
Zags.
already saying
Well, yeah,
Zags.
I've said
Yeah.
Zags the whole time.
It's,
I honestly think they're going to beat whoever they play by 15 or more.
Yeah. Their big three of Kispert, Timmy, and Suggs is unstoppable.
He's going to be doing the mustache the whole way.
I will say, I hope that I wake up in your alternate universe where they don't do it all. But
And I'm dyslexic.
that's exactly.
Houston won 76-16. Crazy.
Defense is outstanding.
But, yep.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah. 10-4, good buddy.
And just remember, Tigel. I can't say his stupid name. Tiger Campbell's hair is basketball and from Iowa.
You said it.
Hashtag Tiger Campbell's hair is basketball and from Iowa.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, I guess.
Is there anything we need to touch? Anything else we got to touch on?
That's about it.
Probably not.
It really was a lopsided weekend. There's 2 games that were close, I think. And
Yeah.
it wasn't too crazy.
Overall, though, I think this tournament has been pretty crazy. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of upsets, couple buzzer beaters. That Alabama buzzer beater was pretty sweet. And then they lost. But
Yeah, and they
that
came out
was
like
kind of crazy.
just got stomped in overtime. That was
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous.
that's heartbreaking after you hit that shot.
Mm-hmm.
But UCLA scored 2 points less than they did in the second half in the overtime game. And was it 5 minutes, right?
Well, they kept getting fouled though. Like a lot of them were off of fouls because Alabama didn't really concede until it was under 5 seconds.
Make the free throws.
Which I like to see.
Loyola could make the free throws.
Honestly, was it Colgate? Maybe it was Colgate. Like they gave up because they were down. How much did they end up losing by? Like it was double digits.
It ended up being, I want to say it was like 15, 16.
But it seemed like they were like down 12 with like 40 seconds to play, and they're just like, okay, we concede. Which I understand. Like you're not going to win that, but it's like you hate to see the kid see him give up at like the 40-second mark or something like that. Like that's excessive.
That kid that was down by 20 with 5 seconds left. I'm getting the ball.
Right.
I didn't care.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Oh yeah.
I do think, though, it's kind of cool with every tournament you get kind of like these characters that come out of it, like the UCLA coach's dad.
Right, yeah.
And old boy, Tiger Campbell, and then the mustache.
Yes, sir.
And then other people. That's about the only 2 that have really stuck out to me. I'm trying to even think of teams that got eliminated. I guess that guy from Loyola. Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like me, like
with the mustache.
Yeah, that guy.
Super Troopers guy.
Yeah.
Kind of him, but yeah, it's always kind of fun to see these
Yeah,
people
like-
come out of the woodwork. Like even back in the day, Davidson, Steph Curry,
I was bringing that up.
God damn it, Gordon Hayward.
Oh yeah.
Like back when Butler. Did you know they were in back-to-back national championship games?
Yeah, my dad picked them because we do.
I remember the Duke one, but I don't remember the other one. It's weird, but
because they were I'm pretty sure an 8 and 9 seed in both of those years, and yeah, I just watched that. It wasn't like a 30 for 30, but a little 10-minute clip of it, and he said we didn't feel like we were the underdogs. We were going to win the game.
Yeah, and he was talking about that missed shot that almost banked in.
He said the one before that he should have.
Well, yeah, but when that guy was shooting free throws for Duke, he made the first one, and Coach K was like, "Miss the second one," because that way they can't obviously.
And you know
stop.
what he said? Coach K has said,
Yeah,
you don't
gotta
gamble, you take risks. It wasn't a gamble, it was a risk.
Did you know he was up for the job at Iowa State 30 years ago?
Coach K?
Yeah.
What a timeline that would have been.
I know.
You think
My
it
life-
would have been different?
Yeah.
Is it him or the program
Both.
for Duke?
Both,
You never know.
probably.
Just
I
like
mean-
Nick Saban, he was terrible at Michigan State.
I'd still take him.
But what else is Duke known for? Lacrosse?
Football.
Well, yeah, lacrosse because they had some scandals going
Wow.
on. I remember that.
But and then I started watching that Villanova North Carolina game with the buzzer beater. That shit was fucking wild, and it was a full crowd. Which, did you see?
I wonder how much of this tournament would be different if we did have full crowds, right? So it's like the NBA bubble argument where it's like, oh, the Heat played out of their mind because it was the bubble and there was no crowds, right? So I wonder how much different it'd be.
I honestly think it was worse for no crowds for the little man because they have the crowd on their side.
Like
when
the dogs?
When they go up 14, if they had a crowd, they're all going to be on their side.
Well, but the big fan bases also show up too.
I was surprised at how loud the Michigan UCLA game was for Michigan. Like, because they said it's like a 4-hour drive from.
Indianapolis.
Yeah. For all the Michigan fans and
California though.
Yeah, exactly. It was very much like a hometown crowd dynamic for Michigan.
You say they have a big crowd, but you also
it's still way less than a normal
you
crowd.
Have 4 teams in that playing back to back, so those other 2 teams want the underdog to win, so they have an easier chance on the last game. So all their fans are rooting for the underdog.
True.
I think it makes.
But Michigan was the only Big Ten team left, so you got to pull. I hate that line of reasoning where you got to pull for the conference.
You go from I hate that team.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Conference play to
exactly.
Yeah,
Remember fucking rivals we're always gunning for them. Now I got to pull for them. No
thanks.
Stuff yourself.
NFL announced full stadiums.
Did they?
Yeah,
Nice.
allegedly.
You
know how that goes.
I believe it by fall. We'll probably have a
freaking hope so.
Yeah, have enough, vaccine coverage or whatever.
If you have your vaccine.
We're not doing that.
Well, I don't even think they'll like require it or anything. I just think we'll just probably be at a point.
Take on that.
I said the only way I'll get it is if it allows you in the stadium. And I said even if it makes my legs fall off, they'll be freaking dragging me into that stadium.
I'm wheeling in, baby.
But
no, thank you.
Other than that, anybody else have some final thoughts?
No, I'm
good.
jealous I can't have a cool hairdo. That's about it.
At least you can have a hat that fits on your head.
Yeah, I didn't wear it today though.
So
This is about to.
people YouTube that because I'm surprised it's not a meme, honestly.
Yeah.
He literally had to set it there.
It was. Hey Arnold was very apt when he started to put on
like
that
the
hat.
cartoons when they had the hats on with the crazy hairs back in the day. It's like,
Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you after the Final Four.
Yes.
Check out our website, beergutsportsnetwork.com.
Follow us on the Twitter. Like us on the Facebook. Do all the things. Help support us, please. We're begging you. Begging.
Send us money.
Well, that would be nice. We'll call you a sponsor. Make it official. We'll put a title on it. How about that?
Shout outs. Every dollar's a shout out.
Give us money.
I don't want to I don't want to have to do anything when they get us money. We'll just call them a sponsor. It's good.
Goodbye. They do that on Sunday.
頑張りすぎる自分に疲れてもどん